I would like to thank my supporters on Patreon first and foremost, because they help make this happen. Avis, Hateful Tate, Harry Partridge, Norden, Busy Robot Hands, and Riddle of Lightning. If you want to support my work, links in the description. Before we get into this, I want to make a disclaimer or two. I'm not saying this show is evil or of the devil. I'm also not going to completely rag on this show. And if you like this show, that's fine. The purpose of this video is mostly a thought experiment, comparing the portrayal of hell and demons from a biblical perspective. I'm not here to preach at you, and I'm not here to try and convert you. This is just for entertainment and experimental thought. Is that enough disclaimers? Probably not, because people are stupid, but let's get into this. Firstly though, we'll start with some background. Hazbin Hotel is headed by Vivian Medrano, aka Vizvipop. The synopsis is basically that the Princess of Hell, Charlie, is tired of yearly exterminations in Hell to keep the population down, and opens a hotel in hopes to redeem some demons so a yearly purge is not needed. Let me lead by talking about the things I liked about this show. Vizvi and her crew have a very good grasp of pushing expressions, the characters have generally good silhouettes, most of the voice actors are good, and the animation as a whole is pretty impressive for a smaller production. The characters themselves are distinct in personality and reach a good balance. And now the problems with the show. Pacing, bad jump cuts. I feel Monica Franco is really phoning in her performance of Vaggie.
What? 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 What were you doing?
Same with Stamper and his voice for Serpentius.
Machines are unmatched. No other demon can compare to the likes of I.
There's also some fairly large animation errors, like where Angel Dust shoots Serpentius despite no bullets coming from the gun, when Charlie removes her jacket only for it to magically be there again in the next shot, and the movements of the car. Not only is it just kind of floating there, but we're not getting a good sense of movement from it. I feel adding some moving treads on the tires might help with that, as well as a changed perspective. The audio balancing could also use some work, as it's very hard to understand everything Charlie is singing in her song without multiple viewings. I also feel there's too many random zany sound effects. But considering how many professionally produced cartoons for TV are actually worse, looking at you, Steven Universe, I can mostly excuse there not being a super professional polish here, and hopefully it will get better with time. That out of the way, let's talk about what the title of this video is about. We'll start with the setting of the story. Hell. In Hazbin Hotel, Hell is mostly a massive cityscape where lost souls turned demon live, and fight for territory. A giant pentagram in the sky is what I'm guessing is the seal that stops anyone from escaping. The overpopulation of Hell is the reason why, once a year, angels descend to cull their numbers to make sure there's still space. Where these souls go after death is a mystery though, and is even joked about in the show.
I'm gonna kill him.
Too late, Toots. Wait! Would that make me double dead? Where exactly do I go? To double hell?
This realm is ruled in quadrants by different powerful demons, but the entirety of it is ruled by Charlie's father, Lucifer, the devil. More on him later. Now, the Bible describes hell in Matthew 25:41 as a place intended for the devil and his angels. This is meant as a final place of punishment, not a living quarters. In Matthew 13:42, it's described as a place of weeping and gnashing of teeth, and Matthew 25:30 describes it as darkness. And in Luke, Jesus himself says it's a fiery realm. And finally, Isaiah describes hell as ever expanding. So it's an expanding, dark, fiery realm filled with torment, originally created as a punishment for the demonic. Does Hazbin Hotel's hell match this? Well, not at all, obviously. It's literally a cityscape, and they cull numbers, so it completely ignores the fact that hell is ever expanding. This is likely due to creative license for the story, and the author, of course, makes no claims to biblical accuracy. But let's go ahead now and talk about demons on the show compared to how the Bible describes them. In Hazbin Hotel, demons seem to be a mixture of ancient spirits and lost souls turned demonic after death. The more powerful ones rule different quadrants of hell, and other demons fight regularly to seize more territory. How's that match up to the biblical accounts? Well, firstly, humans don't become demons. It's stated, as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment, implying no change between those states. More to the point though, the Bible is clear about how demons came about. Lucifer exalted himself as though he was above God, according to the book, and that he was a cherub. Isaiah 14:12-14 contains some of the following thoughts of Lucifer. How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning! How you were cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations! For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation, on the farthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. The rest of the verse is in reference to future events that we'll get into later. Revelation 12:7 picks up the rest of the story. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. At this point, Lucifer is changed to Satan, and his fallen angels become his demons. Now, the Old Testament speaks of demons in Deuteronomy as beings that ancient man worshipped as though they were gods, and that people sacrificed to them according to Psalms. However, in the New Testament is where we see more of how they act directly. Ephesians talks about how they're the rulers of darkness of the age. Matthew talks about the devil being a tempter, and in several places in the New Testament, they're depicted as possessing humans or leading people into divination. Do demons fight among themselves for territory? Well, no, demons don't fight among themselves. We see this when the Pharisees approached Jesus and accused him of using demonic powers to cast out demons in Mark, where Jesus responds that Satan cannot cast out Satan, as a house divided cannot stand. They do, however, control territories. This is referenced in both Daniel, when an angel was withstood by the Prince of Persia, a demonic ruler, and in Ephesians again, it's stated that we wrestle against ruling demonic persons as opposed to our fellow man. So how does Hazbin Hotel match up? Well, you'd think it'd be as off as a comparison with hell, but it's actually a lot closer. While humans cannot become demons, there's at least one character that's pretty close to the biblical definition. Alastor, the radio demon. He's shown to have violence in his heart, tempts characters based on their baser desires, and even irritates others like the demonically possessed girl did to Paul in the New Testament. Can demons make deals? We see in Hazbin Hotel, Alastor offers Charlie a deal for working on a hotel, which she declines. Well, biblically there is some basis for this. In Matthew 4:8-9, it details Satan tempting Jesus. Quote, Again, the devil took him to a high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. All this I will give you, he said, if you will bow down and worship me. So it's clear that the demonic can offer deals, but the extent to which they'll keep it is unknown. There's also other things, though, such as the fact that other demons travel with him, much like in Matthew 12:45, and he has subtle or even extreme changes in color, as 2 Corinthians notes transformation as an ability Satan himself has, specifically into an angel of light. But speaking of both appearance and Satan, let's talk about his portrayal in this series so far. Many people depict the devil as some hulking beast, but the Bible makes a different account. Remember that verse in Isaiah detailing Satan's thoughts? Here's how the rest of that describes him. Those who will see you will gaze at you, and consider you, saying, Is this the man who made the earth tremble, who shook kingdoms, who made the world as a wilderness and destroyed its cities, who did not open the house of his prisoners? Satan's true appearance isn't fearsome, and in this case, that's demonstrated fairly well. There's also some interesting visual nods in his character design, like his staff, which is clearly a reference to his tempting of Eve in the Garden of Eden with the fruit of the tree of knowledge. Often depicted as an apple, it rests at the top of his cane. Now let's talk about how the angels are depicted. I've seen some reviewers like Zizzy state that it doesn't make much sense for her that the angels look so similar to the demons. But considering biblically demons are just fallen angels, that would actually make sense, despite the fact that there is some indication that they've somewhat changed form since their fall. Generally in the Bible, when something's name is changed, it's a good indication that their character has as well. But there are some angels that aren't exactly pretty. Any of you that have seen my Deception of a Generation series have seen what cherubs look like. So suffice it to say that when angels greet humans in the Bible, there's a reason why their first words are, "Be not afraid." And there's the answer. It's pretty wild. Now, I've been following Vizvi's work for about 5 years now, and between both her early animations and her comic Zoophobia, it's pretty clear she's had a long time fascination with the demonic. Charlie isn't the first child of Satan she's depicted in her media. There's also the fact that the name Alastor is Greek for spirit of revenge, and Charlie's mother is named Lilith as a reference to Jewish folklore. So it's pretty clear Visby has some sort of knowledge of biblical things. Now, I'm not opposed to depicting the demonic in media. I've read that type of material before in both the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis or This Present Darkness by Frankie Peretti. To me, it's how it's presented and the intention therein. In the latter examples, it exemplifies biblical structure and the stories point to Christ. Hazbin Hotel really doesn't do that. So personally, I cannot divorce that from my own theological views. Charlie's hopes for redemption fall short, not just because they're already in hell, but because it lacks the redemption via Christ, as the Bible requires one to go through Christ for such a thing. So I likely won't be watching it in the future, as I am compelled not to due to this. But I won't be chiding you if you choose to. That choice is yours, and I won't judge you for it. But biblically, in the end, Alastor is correct.
Redemption? Oh, the non-existent humanity! No. I don't think there's anything left that could save such loathsome sinners. The chance given was the life they lived before. The punishment is this. There is no undoing what is done.